Alright guys, so I think I actually found a ghost that no one has been talking about lately. Now if you're asking, Flammy VR, what is this ghost? We know every ghost known to man. Now I don't know when this ghost came and how this ghost came to be, but all I know is this could be a very, very huge threat to Gorilla Tag itself. Ghost name, invisible. Location, anywhere. Okay, let's start off with the positive side. The good news is we barely saw him anywhere in this game. The bad news, this can be a very huge threat to the game, and Lemming himself will have to come into his own game and, ban the ghost. But if it's not stable enough, this ghost could potentially break Gorilla Tag. But hey, let's look on the positive side. At least Lemming himself doesn't have to come into his own game again, because there wasn't as much ghost that had to be a huge threat to the point where Lemming himself had to come in his own game and ban them. Now, I'm not saying we're safe, and I'm not saying we're in danger, but this can be very huge danger to the actual game if the ghost gets close enough to the hacks. I'm not saying mods, I'm not saying any of that. I mean the actual game's programs. They can mess it up, they can mess up everything. All I know is, so far, all they know what to do is make people invisible and no one can see them. And I heard a couple of rumors that they can ban people, but that's not 100% confirmed. So I think we're safe for now. Well, at least I think. 'Cause the bad news, more bad news, yes, I know. But the more bad news is, so far, he has at least got into 5 to 10% of the programs in Gorilla Tag. Which means if he gets 100% of all the programs, he could potentially break the game. And there's so much more I gotta say about this ghost. For one, not many people have spotted him, and number two, there's lots of modders pretending to be him, when really they're not. The real ghost actually appeared first back when, the winter updates were here, and when Mountains was, around new, let's just say. Now, I'm not trying to be Mr. Negative, Mr. Sin, but I'm just saying there is a lot of bads and not so many good to how we can defeat him and how he's going to pretty much break this game completely. All I'm saying, though, is we're probably getting wrecked. If he already knows how to turn people invisible, I'm pretty sure he can ban people at that time. And there's more ghosts that, haven't been talked about much, like the Boogeyman or, Lifeguard or something like that. But the real threat has to be invisible for, not talking about ghosts that much. And potentially, this is actually kind of heartbreaking for the game. And if he actually gets his hands on those hacks, I'm probably crying my tears. And I'm not trying to be Bartholomew Johnson here, but the fact that he has got his hands on turning people invisible over and over again, and it's been happening a couple of times, meaning he could get into some of the important programs that actually make ghosts, banned. Take PPV, Echo, or any of the popular ghosts for an example, like Statue, J3V, you name it. There's lots of popular ghosts, and they haven't been big threats ever since the game, really came out. The happy part about it is they haven't been really big threats. They were just modders trying to have fun. But all I'm saying, though, is this ghost is probably one of the biggest threats known to Gorilla Tag man life. And I'm not trying to shame girls, but man life, what I mean by that, I mean the whole game itself. Or Gorilla Tag kind, because not many girls play Gorilla Tag. Actually, boys play more Gorilla Tag, but there is a lot of girls on Gorilla Tag a lot of the time. And I'm not trying to call anyone out, but still. This could be a very huge threat to the game and potentially break it. And no, I'm not saying this is actually going to break the game. And I'm not saying this is actually gonna get us kicked out for the game forever. We're gonna lose our accounts, blah, 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 blah. All I'm saying, though, is this threat can be a huge one, just like the fallen angels in the Bible, or COVID back in 2020.
Hey, we don't talk about that.
Sorry, man, I had to remind you. And etc., etc. There's so much more that is pretty much a bigger threat than just a ghost in Gorilla Tag. But still, if they had the power, they could dox people, meaning they can pretty much, well, player track them, they can leak their address and everything. They can, yeah, you name it, man. They can read their whole state, their whole full name, their car plate, anything. And if they can make people invisible, and if they pretty much have the power of the ghost, I'm pretty sure they have the power of doxing. But it really depends on the coding in the game, and so far, they haven't really wrecked the game at all so far. Which means we're pretty much safer now. But still, are we really? Tell me. Like, actually tell me in the comments, or I don't know. But still, this could be a pretty huge threat if we, well, make it overpopulated. It could be a very huge threat to the game. It could wreck it. Everything. Even though I said this millions of times, I still gotta remind you, because, well, I'm not trying to be that one guy, but still, it's good to remind people, give them a fresh start, you know. It's just like in the mornings what my teachers tell me. It's good to get a fresh start, apparently. But I'm not saying you have to listen to me. I'm just warning you, this could be a pretty huge threat to the game. Especially all the coding in the game that Lemming actually put himself. Now, if you're asking, what is coding in a game? And what is doxing and all that? Blah, 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 blah. What is coding? What is that? What is this? You're funny. You're a funny little one. All I'm saying, though, is it's just craps and giggles. But really, at the end, though, is it really craps and giggles? It's not really craps and giggles. It's the truth. And I'm telling you this for the gamers out there kind of like me who are kind of curious about the game. Just warning you guys, this could end Gorilla Tag completely and overpopulate the fans to never play that game again. So it's pretty much going to be trash runners all over again. Or COVID. Hey, we told you not to remind this. Sorry, I'm just giving you a fresh start. Anyways, enough with the skits. I'm really being serious here, though. These underpopulated ghosts could be huge threats. The overrated ghosts, or the popular ones, aren't much of a big threat. Now that you think of it, they're either just modders or fakers or little kids trying to be ghost. But all in the end, though, the ghost still could be roaming. But it's not serious to the people in the real world who are focusing on real things. Now, if you're saying, Flimey, are you serious? This is a big threat. Not really, if you think about it. It's not much of a big threat, even though it's going to dox you. It's still a game after all. Not much things in games are big threats unless if it relates to the real world. All I'm saying, though, is stay out of this and let me do the talking. Give me the talking stick and I'll tell you everything I know. And I know I've told you this many times. I'm not saying this is all true. I'm not saying this is going to actually affect the real world in a way, but it actually could. We just got to wait and see. Grab your popcorn and snacks or candy or whatever you eat and sit back. Let me talk on the talking stick. You can listen, eat your popcorn, everything like that. Sit back, watch, whatever, I don't know. And you can get the craps and giggles. But if I ever see the coronavirus or any of that, or if people are screaming saying, oh my God, the whole Wi-Fi shut down. You can't make videos and I can't live without my phone. Yeah, sometimes power is useful, but seriously, like, bro, if people, keep on saying it, if people keep on annoying me, saying, do this, do that, I will go Prowler mode, like, or I can go, like, but look on the bright side, at least, well, C19, I'm gonna call it, so no one has to get fricked off with me. C19. At least it's not back. I told you not to talk about it. I swear to God. But anyways, look on the downside. Like, seriously, stop thinking of unicorns, rainbows, cotton candy, lollipops, candy, more candy, lollipops, more rainbows, and all that. And look at the truth. Look, just look at me for a second. I know you're already looking at me, but look at me harder. But seriously, this could be a very big threat to Gorilla Tag, even though I said it thousands of times. This could literally make fans go crazy. Like, actual crazy. But so far, we don't have to worry much about it. The most we have to worry about is, well, him banning us or doxing us. Because it's not like he's just going to instantly get those powers. Even though, well, my jinx is all. Anyways.
Subscribe.